Tom, you're on News and Views. Go ahead, Tom.
Hi, good morning, Joel. Tom Fryer with the North Dakota Family Alliance.
Good to have you on, Tom. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, and I was just alerted to the fact that you are visiting about the measure, and in fact may have even used my name.
I did. I talked about an interview we did where I didn't know if I went too far in asking you what is a personal question, but yet the measure is so personal. And so I actually asked the listeners about it.
I thought you did, but we'll put that aside. The main reason I'm calling is to make sure that you understand that this is not about the contraceptives. We talked about that on the show. This is about something that was caused by that issue, but the purpose of this measure is only to restore the religious liberties that were provided for in the First Amendment that were removed by that 1990 court decision.
Okay, so
that's the main purpose of this. Now, it may affect different things in different ways, but that's what the people are voting on. They're not voting on contraceptives. They're not voting on the Catholic Church. They're not voting on any of those things.
Let me ask you this. What right have I lost? And I asked you that on TV on Friday. They'll see that. But what right have I lost? That's when you led me down the path.
You and everyone else in North Dakota has a lower level of protection. By the Supreme Court's decision told our courts, our Supreme Court in this state, unless your state restores that level of protection by putting in the language that's in Measure 3, State Supreme Court, you are going to abide by a lower standard.
What is it?
Okay,
that's what we have.
But so you have a question for Tom.
Tom, what is that lower level? I've been in public life for a long time. I have never had anybody call me and say, I don't have the same right. Now, maybe the bishops see that they don't have the power that they used to have, but I don't think that was affected by the court decision, number one. And number two, I think really it has meant more religious freedom for the individual religious person.
I didn't catch the last part.
Well, I think he felt that people have more religious freedom, Tom. So what he's asking is specifically what is that right? What have we lost? He's going back to what I'm seeing is the same place that I'm at. I don't feel as though I've lost any religious liberties, and you're saying that we have, and I'm trying to find out what that is.
Yep. Well, I'm saying that the U.S. Supreme Court in its decision, most certainly after the U.S. Congress passed by overwhelming margin the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, restoring the compelling interest test, which basically says that the government, if it wishes to burden someone's religious liberty, must have a good reason, not just any reason. And then when they made that ruling, they told the states, if you wish for that level to be raised where it was before the 1990 case, then you have to put this language somewhere in your state, whether it's statutory or in your Constitution.
Well, but
that's
Tom, that begs the question, Tom, what has the government done then to do that? What has the United States government done where you think there's been that abuse?
That has happened. That happens all around the country. Remember now.
What? Give me an example, Tom. Is what I'm getting.
Remember now. Whenever we have protection.
Just a minute, Tom.
Whenever we have protection, that doesn't mean we can stop people from doing something that opposes that. That means that we as a people have the government or the courts, if you will, to protect us. That doesn't stop one from doing silly things.
No. But I understand that, Tom. My point is, what has the government done that you can give me as an example of where I've lost that liberty?
Yeah, name 6 things. Name one.
Give me one.
I'm going to reverse that question. You tell me. You're talking about the consequences here. That what it's going to do. You're throwing out things. You list those for me.
Well, I will. I don't believe I've lost any.
You're saying
I don't believe I've lost.
A TV ad says that children might be abused. Can you show me an instance of that?
No, because right now they're protected. And I believe that children will and could be abused in any society. I get that, Tom. My point is this. I don't want to have to spend my taxpayer money defending someone who says that because of their religious beliefs that they are allowed to do as they so see fit. And so I fear that, Tom.
No, you're wrong. Today they are not protected.
Oh, Tom.
Because the government would need a compelling interest to stop that from occurring. Today, in our state, we do not have that restored level, which means the government must have a compelling interest. Today, someone could do what you just said, abuse someone, and if they use their religious preference, we would not have the power, the courts would not have the power
Tom, that's
to
not
try to
right.
stop that.
Tom, that's not right. Right now, the courts do have the power to step in on that. And that's what I'm getting at. There's a separation there at some point where law kicks in on this. But I will promise you this, Tom Fryer, with the Family Alliance. You have been very kind to me in giving me your time. What I'm doing with Bud Center today, I'm going to put you on hold and work around your schedule and make sure that you have equal amount of time to talk to these very same listeners. Okay, Tom? I promise you that.
I'll do that.
You can sit in here, take all the phone calls you want, and make sure your point and your side is heard. But I personally believe, and Amy, Tom's on there. Maybe you want to get some times from him. I just don't. It's like we're in search of a problem, and that's what I struggled with.
Well, I think the worst thing is it gives organized religion and its leaders the authority to step in and enforce things that even their own people don't agree with. And in fact, that are sometimes theologically and historically unsupported. And so that's the part that I think it gives too much power to organized religion and their leaders to enforce things that the average person isn't obliged to believe and does not believe.
Well, and Tom works for Family Alliance. He's very passionate about that, and he works on a lot of good issues. This is one I disagree with him on, but he's backed by the Catholic Church, and he says I went too far in personally asking him whether or not he and his wife used birth control when that was one of the examples he gave in the interview of how he felt that was where the government was pushing too far. He wouldn't say it today. You see what I'm getting at?
Of course,
it's like there's this veil, and it's like an onion. You got to peel it back all the time.
This is the whole issue. The whole issue of this. There are some problems in society. There always have been, and there always will be. And some of them might have to be addressed statutorily, but God, not in the Constitution.
Do you want to stick around and take more calls? What's your schedule
Sure.
like? Okay.
I'm okay.
Bud Center, he's here. We'll talk to him about it. We'll take your phone calls. Just as free as what Tom Fryer called in, you can too. 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346 right after this.